You'll make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
Switch on to that one. Good morning, everybody. This is Get It Right Texoma with the trio, which would be Trey and Mike. Trey, Mike, and Terry.
I was going to say, yeah.
But we have our
said dementia here. Yeah,
I know. We have Steve Garner here, and he's joining us.
Who's our co-host, our
guest
co-host, but he's a co-host. He's more of a regular co-host.
There you go.
There we go. How's that?
All right.
Yeah,
so anyway, I'm Terry. I said I got
and
that.
This is
out.
Mike right here.
Yep, right here, right somewhere. There
By the way, we did a tribute show for Mike.
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago. So if you haven't gone out and seen that, go check it out. It's kind of the best clips. That involve Mike. It was really good. It was a good time. It was very emotional putting it together and stuff like that. But it was cool, and I think it was a good tribute. So if you go check it out in the archives.
All right, we go live every Friday morning, 7:30, Facebook and YouTube, and of course the archives are there for 30 days on Facebook. And
but forever on
YouTube. Yes,
forever and ever,
yes.
Amen.
Yeah,
forever
and
ever, amen.
You know, in fact, it may be even eventually Get It Right Texoma may be saved in the data center in Wichita Falls.
there you go. That's it, man. Yeah, wow.
How profound is that?
And it could be in another data center for redundancy. So in case the one goes down, it's there and available. That's what all this data center stuff is about, man. Because and for
Isn't
those
there
who
just one eventual cloud for everything.
no, there's a bunch. No, there's not, and there's no cloud. It's not up there. God is up there, maybe we think. I don't know. He's all around, but anyway, yeah, and also people who are against data center. This is in some ways. Think about it. It's the NIMBY syndrome, not in my backyard. And so, and I'm not saying we should just go put them anywhere because some of the data centers that we're talking about, a lot of them are crypto, and they're just crap.
That's not really a data center. It's a specific thing, though.
Right,
the data
but
centers they're
it's
talking
cheaply
about
built.
They're talking about cloud
Right,
data centers
right,
are different than the crypto data centers.
Right, yeah, absolutely. And so just keep in mind, and
Tim Short will be on with us.
Yeah, and he'll give us some
next week.
Yeah, give us some more.
Week after, pretty soon,
Yeah.
he's going to be in with us, and he'll talk about. I had a long conversation with him.
Sure.
Because I did know that he's researched and he's learned a lot about this, and so it'd be great for him to explain all that to the
plenty of, but there's still a lot to learn there. But hey, you know what? You got to take a risk. Also, there's always, if you don't take risks, you don't get anywhere. I think in life, you got to say, you got to balance that. So anyway, we'll hit on that later. But please comment and share and like and love. Well, if you want to love, if you want the heart.
No.
We just had a discussion on that. So, but anyway, share it. That's the big thing. Let's get the word out, man.
That's right.
And we love to hear the comments. Even if I got to tell you about the one message we've been getting. I'll have to share that off screen. But anyway, we
Then why did you bring it up?
I was
on
gonna say,
screen?
that's a
I
horrible-
know.
yeah.
Okay,
Come on, Terry.
we get some interesting comments.
Is
I'm
there something
just
that's
saying.
not rated X?
Okay, I'll say it real quick.
Yeah, who
so
cares?
this dude, he says, "Hey, do you want to do an interview?" And I was like, "Oh, okay. Who is this guy?" So I went and researched it. Well, it's some dude. He has other dudes. I noticed on all the videos, or not all of them, but a lot of them, the thumbnail showed dudes with their shirts off, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" And so I dug in a little bit more. He was of the. He likes dudes, and he wants to interview. He goes around and asks them questions and weird questions and stuff. And I'm like, no, we ain't doing that.
No.
But
That's wrong. That's a wrong.
we've been propositioned.
wrong platform for that.
Hey, when you get a little older, you get propositioned. It doesn't really matter who it is.
I guess, man. But anyway,
No, I will tell you, you have to be careful who you're friends with on Facebook. So I'm not a Facebook guy. But I, like everybody else, when Facebook came out, I signed in. Anybody who said a friend request, I'd accept, didn't think about it. So I get a phone call one day when I was president of the school board. This is years ago. And I get a phone call from the head of WFISD technology. Mm-hmm. And he goes, dude, have you looked at your Facebook today? I said, Chad, I haven't looked at my Facebook in like 6 months. And he goes, you need to look at your Facebook. Like, okay, so I get over it, and I don't even remember my password. I'm doing my reset password because I don't even know how the hell to get into the thing. I finally get into it, and there's a young girl on there with barely any clothes on, and I'm like, whoa, hey, whoa. And it wasn't like I put it on there. It's like she put it on there, you know? But she's like, hey, I'm from Electra, and everybody who wants to have a good time, give me a call. Like, oh my God. And I'm like, Chad, how do I take this off? And he's like, and he walks me through it. And so I just deleted everything. Anybody I didn't know, I spent like an hour. And if I didn't know somebody, I took them off my friend list on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
But
Limit your access.
But you have to be careful because people can put stuff on your Facebook.
On your page. But
on your
if you
page
leave it open,
sees
right,
it.
you can limit it down to your friends and all that.
Right, but
I know. I know.
Dummy I am. I didn't know.
Well, I didn't either. None of us knew it
But I'm
until
glad
later.
he caught it. I'm glad it wasn't like, Reverend so-and-so that caught it. It would have been,
Oh, well. So anyway.
It looked like technically it looked like I was endorsing her.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. I didn't even know who it was.
Well, let's get into it.
I did call her. I'm just kidding.
No. Well, let's get into it. This is Get It Right Texoma. So we always open up our show with a local restaurant or other coffee, whatever place, local though, that local. So we're going to do it. And we have gyros and kebabs.
So that's how you say it?
Gyros. Yeah, they're
That's
gyro,
that's
not a
a proper way to say
gyro.
it. Or a gyro.
Gyro, yeah. It's a gyro. And anyway, there we go. So gyros and kebabs, man.
Right there on Kemp Street.
Yep.
And they're kind of hard to, you got to kind of know where they are.
Yeah, that's
Because
right.
they're in that little strip mall.
Right across, just south across the street from Hamilton Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
You turn right there, but the street prior, that's actually, we were at the south end of Hamilton Bryan for a long time. So anyway, you hop over to the left, boom, and it's right there. And where the old Baskin-Robbins used to be.
Yep.
You know what? I didn't think about that. That's true.
That dates you.
Yeah,
Big
well,
time.
I got here in
And me.
'95. Yeah, I got here in
Dates you and
'95.
me.
They were still there. So
31
yes,
flavors or whatever.
yeah,
it
I
was.
worked at Baskin-Robbins 2.5 years in high school. So.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Okay,
there
so
you go.
you're a Baskin
Anyway, so
guy.
gyros and kebabs. I mean, they've got really good food. They
do.
It is. It's phenomenal. It's Mediterranean. What everybody's got. They got gyro meat, and the Greek salad. They got. I'm not a real adventurous eater, so I don't know what else he might have there, but Izzy, Izzy, isn't it Izzy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Izzy and his family. He's from Iran, and he knows what he's doing. And so, and there's actually 3 people I know that kind of they know each other here in town. They're all from Iran, and they have they grew up like in really close proximity. It's we got Sean from Fox Hill. We got Izzy, and then we've got Jolly Truck Stop. Well, former, I guess they don't own it anymore, this family, but the Kamalis. Oh gosh, what's his name?
Mr.
The
Kamali.
dad. Mr. Kamali, yeah.
So,
But anyway, they all together. But anyway, they know each other, so it's a little bit of a community, and they know stuff. So anyway, they make great food.
they really do. Gyros and Kebabs is really good. Like I said, you got to kind of know where they are because they're kind of sandwiched in there with everybody. But they make great gyros. I mean, if you like Greek food, and look, if you've never tried Greek food,
Right.
I encourage you to do it. It's not weird stuff. It's not like
No.
pickled
Oh,
pig's
no,
lips
no,
or
no.
haggis or something like that. It's good quality. It's meat. It's meat that's cooked on a skewer. By God, this is Texas. I mean, can you get any more Texan than meat cooked on a skewer?
No.
And but they do lamb and beef, and then they do chicken, and they layer it and stuff. It's really really good stuff. But
Right. I do the combo every time. The combo with the gyro and fries.
Yep.
And I get tzatziki sauce and everything, man. It's good. So
Are you a Greek food guy?
I try Greek food on an occasional basis. I've been in that store probably 7 or 8 times, and I've had good food every single time.
Yep.
And unlike you, I don't get the same thing when I go into a restaurant.
Oh.
Because that's the way I was raised as an Army brat. We had to try new stuff every time we went somewhere. If you didn't like it, you didn't have to eat it, but you did have to try it.
Okay.
And so that's kind of stuck with me over these years,
Sure.
and I always like to try something different. The thing that fascinates me about gyros and kebabs is for a community like this that is so harsh on restaurants, they have been around for decades.
That's right.
They
And
were in
that-
the mall at one point, I
Yes,
think.
and that's a testament, like you said, to the food. It's a testament to the taste and the flavor and the value.
Yep.
And for a community like ours that will chew you up and spit you right out, I mean, if it's not a burger or a Mexican food joint, it's hard to make a long-term presence in Wichita Falls. And yet, this place has been here for decades.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a real testament.
Well, it's
to Izzy
unique
and his
enough.
crew.
I mean, we got a couple of places, but that could do this. But I think that each one has its own little their location. There's convenience. There's all kinds of things that play into that. But they are, I love that they're here. And
you're right. The crazy thing about Wichita Falls, it is normal. If somebody opens a new restaurant, you can't get into the place for about 3 months.
Yeah.
But then it's the test of time. You can't get in for 3 months, and then you'll find out really is it going to stick or not.
I mean, the three of us have been here for decades. We can't remember the numbers of restaurants that came in with big fanfare that were incredible for a time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then they just couldn't stand the test of time.
That's right.
And here's a restaurant, Gyros and Kebabs, that have been here. They've been steady, quality.
Yeah, and if you've never been there, give them a shot.
Yeah,
give them a try.
absolutely.
They're right off Kemp Street, so they're kind of in the heart
easy
of
to get
Wichita
to,
Falls.
Yep.
Yeah. So
All right.
check them out.
Cool. All right. Next up is we got the
Farmers markets. It's one of those deals. There's not a lot of events going on right now. School just got done. The summer is about to ramp up. There's not as many events that happen. And we're going to talk about some stuff that's going to happen a little later on in the summer. But there's not as many events that happen in the beginning of June. So we don't really have a lot of events to talk about that are right on top of us. But the farmers markets are blowing together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And this is a good place. It's an event every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
Yeah, and more. They have different. They have expanded hours and different days as well. Mm-hmm. These things have gotten bigger and bigger. They split, and both of them are still big.
Right.
And so you have the downtown farmers market, which is on Indiana Street.
Okay. Which one? So we have
that's the Wichita Falls Farmers Market Association.
Okay, and then
that's
there's
the
the
one
downtown, which is
over
on
where
Ohio.
Straight Street was. Right.
Right. Okay.
So the downtown farmers market is the farmers market building that's been there for a lot of years. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't remember it not being there.
Right.
Do you remember it not being there?
I do.
You do.
I've been here long enough.
Wow. Okay. I remember at one time it didn't have sides, it didn't have air conditioning. It was just an open air thing. But anyhow, so they have that farmers market building that's right in the heart of downtown over there.
Right.
And they have all different kinds of things. It's kind of like Joe Tom White used to say, there's more than guns at a gun show.
Yep.
There's more than farmers at a farmer's market.
Yeah.
I mean, there's baked goods. You do have your fresh milk, your fresh meats, your fresh vegetables and that sort of thing. But you also have baked goods. You have people selling knickknacks.
Right.
It's not a flea market, but it's not crap. It seems to be like more of a little high end of a knickknack thing. I don't think there's a bunch of people selling used stuff, but a lot of handmade goods.
Right.
I think that's something I want to touch on is the artisan type things you can get there. Mm-hmm. The handmade, if it's jewelry, if it's fresh, canned, it's fresh stuff. These are local, like we talked about on the restaurant. These are local vendors, regional vendors that bring their craft. They bring their goods in. I've gone down and bought honey several times. Mm-hmm. It's local honey, and you can't. Right. If you like honey and you use honey, you can't get better honey than local.
Right.
Bee-made honey.
Right. And it's better for you because it's better for your environment.
It's exactly right.
It actually inoculates you to the allergies things here.
It's exactly right.
Yeah, you're right. It's a great farmers market, but then you had the Farmers Market Association a few years ago. You had some people that had some disgruntled. Has everybody ever been gruntled? I've only heard people been disgruntled. They're gruntled. Yeah. Which means they're happy, I guess. Yeah. But so they decided to go do their own thing, which is cool. I mean, and the nice thing about it is it didn't destroy either one of them. Both of them are big and strong and vibrant, and it's over at the Straight Street. It's off of Travis Street, I believe, if I'm correct. Okay. And they have different days, like they'll have salsa day and they'll have watermelon day and stuff. Both of them have these events. But go check them out. And by the way, go to both of them. There's plenty of time.
That's such a when we go, we hit both of them.
Yeah,
because they've got different vendors in each place, and someone's going to have a piece of produce that the other place doesn't have, or a vegetable the other place doesn't have. And it's because that's exactly what I was looking for. Or you know what? I wasn't even thinking about that, but that's what I would like.
Because you might run out at one and get.
That's exactly. And they're what? 7 blocks apart, 4 blocks
You're
apart.
real close.
It's like garage selling. You go, you just don't go to one garage sale,
But I think the Maraths are probably the only vendors that go to both at the same time, but you have to be kind of a big outfit to be able to do
Gotta
that.
have a few people.
Yeah.
Got a lot of stuff.
All right.
All right. So go check them out downtown. Once again, local farmers markets.
There you go. So, all right, what we got next?
We got a couple concepts here. This is one of the concepts that I've had. You know, I do a lot of thinking, and it hurts.
I know, I smell burning a
yeah,
lot.
and ears steam comes out of my ears and that sort of thing. The word papers.
Papers. Oh,
This is where the left has been using this word a whole lot.
papers.
They're using about immigration, but they use the word papers.
Well, because it has a negative connotation.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's why they use this term. It has a negative connotation because it is reticent, and people think about papers. Let me see your papers, Germany, or Russia during communism and stuff like that. So it's not papers. It's ID. This also goes back to voters. It's ID. It's not papers. And so let me ask you a question. And this inconsistencies bother me. I believe in being intellectually honest. I've said a million things here and on the radio. You will never find me speak out of one side of my mouth over here and out of another side. Now, it doesn't mean I can't change an opinion. Or I say, you know what, I wasn't quite right about that. I've corrected myself over time. Yeah. But I believe in always being intellectually honest. I don't believe everything that Trump does is great. And I've blasted Trump here. I've blasted everybody here. But I've also pointed out when they've done well. I believe I call balls and strikes, and I believe it's called being intellectually honest. So let me ask you, all the people who want to use the word papers, was the vaccine card papers? That wasn't papers. That was your vaccine card. You got to have that. You got to have the jab, and you got to have your vaccine card because you're unsafe if you're not. Wasn't that papers?
That was more. That to me even is worse than the.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. When they talk about gun registrations and all that, isn't that having your papers?
Yep.
So,
a constitutionally protected thing, and then something that's mandated on you, which shouldn't have been. But anyway,
my whole point is, words matter.
Yes,
and there's a reason why the media and not only the left, the right, everybody who has political leanings or social leanings will choose words. What happens, though, is because the media is really much more leaning left than it is right.
What?
Yeah, I'm glad you're sitting down, Steve. Yeah, mind's blown. Steve's going to have to go take a moment. Yeah, get Steve a Valium quickly. He's going to be you're going to be like Jill Biden was in here. She'd think you're going to have a stroke like she said Joe Biden was having a stroke during the debate.
Yeah.
She got roasted for that.
Oh, she should.
Nobody believed that crap.
Well, and by the way, you either one or two things. Either you're the worst wife in the history of wives, or you don't believe it.
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, my point was that because the left does work so well with the media, they craft these words. And they say the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. And the one that has pissed me off forever, and I railed about this on the radio and I've railed about it on here, is the term, and by the way, Republicans are horrible about doing this as well, using the term health care instead of health insurance.
Yeah.
X amount of Americans don't have health care. That's bullshit. Every person who is on this, that steps 1 inch into our borders, has access to health care. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if they've been here for 100 years or if they've been here for 37 seconds. I knew a guy who was a fireman in El Paso. A whole career was a fireman in El Paso. And he's fluent Spanish, so he always worked south of I-40, close to the border. He said he should have been a gynecologist or an obstetrician. He's delivered so many babies. He's delivered them in parking lots. He's literally delivered babies on the riverbank.
Golly.
So, but what happened? That wasn't an American citizen that was having a baby on the riverbank. It was a pregnant Hispanic woman from Mexico who came across to have the baby here, right? And he didn't go, "Oh, bullshit! You're not from here. I'm just, have good luck having that kid on your own." So I'm saying the Republicans let themselves be co-opted with this. Health care and health insurance are two different things.
Right.
Yes, X amount of Americans do not have health insurance. everybody, whether you're American, not American, or whatever, if you're in this country, you
some
have
level,
access to health care.
Especially emergency. Nobody
It's always gonna
nobody
be
will
stabilization.
never stable.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to give you a boob
right.
job.
And probably even
Unless you're in
there's a
California,
clinic.
right, yeah.
California,
There's probably
they
a
have.
clinic that will take care of you, even if you have a cold or flu or whatever. You know?
There will,
right.
yeah. But
and you can probably
life-saving
get,
stabilization.
right.
Anybody who's a medical professional, who's a licensed medical professional, can lose their license and go to prison for refusing health care services for somebody.
Right. Well, and if something funny, I like to watch Mark Davis on. He's on The Answer 660 AM out of Dallas. I like to listen to him, and he's got exactly that thing. He does some commercials for an insurance agency here or in Dallas. That's and he talks during the commercial as healthcare. Go get you some healthcare. The way he talks and stuff, and so I want to call him out on that, but because he talks about the same thing. Yeah, you're not getting. Healthcare is not health insurance, right? Getting health insurance is getting health insurance. And actually, our country is more in the sick care business than we are in health care. Because if you were to think about it, health, again, words matter. We should be promoting health, not
Preventative kind of thing.
Well, anyway,
my whole point on this thing is be careful.
Papers, yes.
Listen to those words. Do not fall in the traps. But when people start talking about papers, they're papers. No, they're green cards.
Right.
They're documents. These are legal documents.
Right.
This isn't the old, like I said, Soviet Union who, you can go, let me see your papers, or Germany, Nazi Germany, where we used to have papers. No, we all have IDs.
Yeah. Right. But
if you're part of our society,
right,
you need to have an ID.
But the other side of it is that you have to have some reasonable suspicion. A cop, a law enforcement, or whatever, has to have a reasonable suspicion that you're here illegally. And because we don't want to be in that police state where they are asking us for it, whether it's papers or ID or whatever.
Somebody has to have a reason to ask for your ID.
Right. And that's where these First Amendment auditors come in, as they get to extreme sometimes.
But what bothers me is you have people who were insistent that you had your vaccine papers.
Yeah, well.
Or if you carry a gun, you've got your gun papers,
vaccine
but
passport.
They damn sure don't want somebody to have some papers to show that you're an American citizen or here legally.
Yeah.
I cannot stand intellectual dishonesty.
Yeah.
Period.
There you go. All right. Well, good deal.
So anyway,
all right.
I'll get off that.
Well, I got something that I just learned about this morning.
What's that?
It's kind of cool. So you mentioned it off air. So for those people who are wanting to kind of learn a little bit more about AI and maybe how to use it and that kind of stuff, well, guess what? Your president, our president, I guess, along through the Department of Labor, has come up with an idea.
I was going to say, it probably wasn't Trump. It was probably the Department of Labor. Somebody.
Well, it was, but I mean, anyway, they're adopting his theme of make America great or whatever. Well, again, MAGA type thing. Well, let me pull it up here. But the Department of Labor has get my mouse over here. The Department of Labor has.
They have somebody to help you with your computer?
Yeah, I know. The Department of Labor has a pop-up here, or a website and a way to sign up for AI lessons, daily lessons sent as a text. And so you might go to check it out. I've already gotten my first little thing there.
You got your first text message today?
This morning when I signed up within about 30 minutes. Yeah,
Technology
it was a Facebook.
so awesome.
Yeah, it was a Facebook ad actually. And I double checked it. I was like, wait a minute. I want to make sure because it's asking for your phone number. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, and I thought this is a great idea, but I want to make sure it has the symbol, the little seal that the Facebook seal that they pay extra for to make sure they've been verified. So that's good. But yeah, you just go to Department of Labor and Google this, Make America AI Ready. And so just sign up right here and put in your phone number and then you get, it includes 7 lessons, 27 questions, and at least get you down the road there and start.
Learn a little bit about AI. Hey, look, it's here.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, whether you embrace it or not, AI
and
is
who's
here.
been saying that for how long?
You get this guy. In fact, I accused him back in the radio days. I accused him of owning like part of Chat GPT or something like this. Yeah. He was selling Chat GPT like it was going out of style here. No, but it is true. I mean,
whether you like it or not,
AI is here.
Yep.
If you want to go get a flip phone and live in the woods, that's absolutely fine if that's what you want to do. But if you want to kind of be a productive member of society, you could be productive without AI, but it does help you.
Well, it gives you an edge, but you'd have to.
I was resistant.
Yep.
I was resistant, and
a
because you
lot
used
of
to
people
rail on me about being old man Sralla, But I do use AI so a limited amount. I mean, I don't believe in writing when I have to do public speaking. I don't use AI. I think quite frankly, I think you're weak if you do that. I think you ought to write your own thing. You might run it through there for corrections and stuff like that, but don't put about 3 things in and let it generate that and then go someplace. By the way, if you're going to speak publicly, get a piece of paper. This shit about looking at the phone and going, it's like horrible.
No, I know.
Looks
Well,
so meany.
but I also, there's
Use a piece of paper.
presentation.
Or memorize it.
Yep. Well,
Wait a minute, what?
Memorize.
Wait a minute, what?
Memorize.
You mean learn what you're going to say?
That's right.
You mean have your facts stored so that you can bring those up immediately when someone asks you?
Amazing.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Or like I usually do, think about it for about 10 minutes and then go in there and just talk and whatever you say.
right. If you have the, there's a lot. You and I and I sounds like Steve you've been in that presentation. You've given presentations. You've talked publicly.
Well, Steve had to do it for a living.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he did presentations every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Well, and that's the same thing. And I was an instructor in the Air Force. I have a degree in elementary education.
And you had to do it every day.
Right, I had to do it every day, teaching, yes. And so, but I do it every day here. I mean, I'm teaching someone how to use something in technology and have to
Usually,
adjust
what are you teaching them how to use, Terry?
their iPhone or their Mac or
Their Apple.
yes, their Apple device.
That's right here at Mac Tech Solutions.
Tech Solutions.
4020 Ray Road.
Sweet 3B, second building on the right. See the big sign.
Yeah.
Come on and see us, 10 to 6.
Stevie Wonder drove by and saw the sign.
So anyway, so go check this out. Just go, Google the website. It's just Google for "Make America AI Ready" for Department of Labor, and you'll find it. Yeah.
Okay.
So check it out.
Moving on, Representative James Frank. There was a couple things we didn't get to last week. Has filed a suit against Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah.
That alleges that misrepresented the actual cost of prescription drugs. Now, James, he filed this as a business person, not as a state representative.
Okay.
But to me, I think this is a great idea because I think James will get more people will pay more attention because he is a state representative. And we're going to have him on this summer. I've already talked to Bob Payton, his director, local director, and we're going to have James on and visit. James was the first person that ever explained drug rebates. And I don't want to go into deep woods here because we'll let him explain it properly. But basically a drug rebate this is a way that they skirt the system. So a company will they'll say, oh, this is your price on this drug. And it's basically a kickback which is illegal. Kickbacks are illegal, but rebates are perfectly legal. So they bump the price on this drug way up in the air, and then the middleman, they get a rebate after the drug is sold.
Insurance company.
Yeah. Or they're surrogates. There are people I forgot there's a whole business that's around this thing, and they negotiate these prices, but they negotiate these false prices super high, and then they get rebates on the back end. So basically, you're being lied to about what you're paying for drugs. And unfortunately, people that have insurance, we don't care, and we need to care.
Yeah.
And this is one thing that I really respect about James. James owns a pretty large manufacturing business. He owns several businesses. And several years ago, he decided to go into basically create his own insurance, self-insured himself with, I think, reinsurance and all that. So he got really knowledgeable about all this stuff. And I think it's great that he has gone after Blue Cross Blue Shield as a business owner and as a person who utilizes that insurance company. But I think the fact that he's a state representative is also going to help with the notoriety.
Yeah.
Well, the insurance companies though have their own little marketplace, or they have these. They own a lot of the whole healthcare system. Yeah. The insurance companies themselves, and they negotiate some things that, from a pharmacy standpoint, I guess if you walk in there with insurance, you may end up actually paying more for your deductible than you would if you'd have just paid cash.
I did that one time.
And it's like,
I forgot what it was, amoxicillin or something. I had a tooth infection or something like that. The dentist said, hey, go get this. And I went over there, and they go, well, it hadn't been cleared to your insurance company. I said, I don't care. I was like, I'll just buy this stuff. I figured it'd be $100, $150. It was $3.73. And like my deductible was $20. I'm like, well, screw that then. Yeah, don't run it through my insurance, please.
Right, because wow. So it's just it's
not my deductible copay. My
your copay, right? So well, anyway, so there you go.
There you go.
So that's
so I think it's
a racket.
It is a racket. James has been on it for a long time, and I'm really glad to see him as a business owner and as a private citizen to go after these people.
Yeah.
So, right.
Okay, in other news, local radio personality Brad Austin.
Yeah.
He's been on KLUR for a million years, and he's retired after 40 years. Now, he wasn't on KLUR for 40 years, but his radio career was 40 years.
Yeah.
But Brad's been on KLUR for a long time, several decades. Usually morning drive host. He's had co-hosts over the years. He's won awards and things like that. Mm-hmm. Good guy. He's had virtually everybody who needed to get the word out about something on his radio program from time to time. And so anyhow, time for him he said he wants to ride off in the sunset, but we just wanted to say congratulations to Brad and acknowledge that. And he was a really good DJ. He was a really good guy. He was always fun I'd go in there and be interviewed, and because it's different than like this where somebody comes in and all we do is talk. Yeah. There you listen. The main thing is listen to music, so you have a lot of time between waiting for your time to talk. Mm-hmm. And Brad was always real engaging and real fun to talk to and things like that. So
I'd be curious to see what he's really going to do now that he's retired from the radio industry, because as impactful and active as he was in the community, you know that he's going to get into something.
Yeah. Oh, you'd think he'd have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. All right. Next, we had some major races that are kind of affect our. One's a state race and one's a local race. Mm-hmm. Mark Dora won the Wichita County Judge runoff against Rick Hatcher. This is one of those deals. I think both of those guys were good guys. We had them both on the show. I think either one of them would make a really good county judge. Mm-hmm. And they both brought business experience and bring a lot of things to the table. But there was a runoff, and the voters voted for Mark. Yeah. And so he will take over technically January 1st. I'm going to make a bold prediction here, and I have zero insight of this. Zero. This is just me using my mind and some logic and everything. I predict that Mark Dora will become the county judge before January 1st, because I think that Jim Johnson will, after they get past the budget, will probably resign because Jim is going to work back with James Frank.
He's got a tight timeline.
Well, think about it. Technically, Jim's on the job until December 31st. Now, we'll try to confirm this. He's going to be on with us sometime this summer. He's on the job until December 31st. The state gavels in. Their session is next year. It starts in January 14th is when they gavel in. So he's the chief of staff in Austin. That means he would have basically 14 days to move his family, move himself, and get to Austin and get ready for a session, which is a massive deal.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that – but now I will say Jim's a good person, and Jim loves his community, and he will do everything. I think he will stay through the budget cycle and make sure that gets done properly and things like that. But I do predict that Jim will not finish out that term, and this is just my guess.
And then presumably, of course, they would likely just appoint Mark as
it would make sense.
Yeah, because he does not have an opponent in the November election.
Right. That's correct. Yeah. Whoever won this race was going to be the county judge. Right. Which is like most races in this area. Whoever the Republican is,
the
primary is basically the same as the general election.
Yeah.
Another big one, and this was a real big one.
Yeah.
Ken Baxton defeated John Cornyn.
Think about where we were 45 days ago in the race between those two, and what a difference 45 days made for Ken Paxton.
Yeah.
He was outspent nearly 8-1 by Cornyn. And look what a difference one endorsement and then a second endorsement made in the voters' turnout for Ken Paxton.
Which is crazy that he was outspent, because at my house he wasn't. I got mailers every day from from Ken Paxton against John Cornyn.
Yeah.
Every day. I mean, literally, remember I brought him in here.
I've got him over there.
And Ken Paxton's campaign knew where the voters in Texas that were going to voted. He really aggressively pursued those voters. And I just, from a marketing standpoint, and that's part of my background, to see how close they were in voter polls 45 days ago, to see him win by over 20%.
Right.
20. It was crazy to me.
Oh, is it how
And he
that
won
was that
early.
big?
And he
That
won
was-
early. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
that
They
big. I
called
haven't
it.
seen
They
the
called it
numbers. Okay.
relatively early.
They
It didn't
called
go
it
in the
as
middle
soon
of
as
the night.
they called it as soon as the polls closed.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
It was quick.
The early vote was that strong.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was just amazing from a marketing standpoint, looking in on that. I mean, you look at, whether you like Wesley Hunt or not,
Right.
his endorsement, he got, 18% of the vote, and I don't remember the right number. But he got less than 20% of the vote. But his vote, those were hardcore conservatives that went for him in the primary.
Right.
That put this into a runoff. And those votes, and then when Trump comes in 10 days before the election and says, Paxton's my guy, all of those that hadn't voted early, or the ones that there were still, I think, 3 days left on the early vote. But my gosh, what an incredible swing to see that number go from pretty much of a dead heat into, I think it was 21 or 22%.
It was pretty high. And it was quick.
That's huge.
And it was
That's
quick.
a huge win.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. I'm going to be intellectually honest. I was not wanting Paxton to win. I would rather Cornyn win. I don't like Cornyn.
Yeah.
But
I had to do this when I voted.
I don't like Cornyn, but I will tell you, I think Ken Paxton will beat Tallarico. I think Cornyn would have wiped the floor with Tallarico. Yeah. I think it's going to be a lot closer because there's a lot of Republicans that do not like Ken Paxton.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. By the way, his own party impeached him, right? In the state. And there's a lot of people don't like him. And I think that there'll be a lot of Republicans that stay home. The problem you have with that is I think Tallarico's a milquetoast. And I think that if he gets elected, he's going to go in there.
He can't get elected.
I agree, but I'm just saying, if he ever was, I don't think he would be a John Fetterman who would kind of go in and say, hey, I'm my own man. Yeah, I'm a Democrat, but I'm my own person. And I give John Fetterman credit for that. I think he would just go part of the machine and just be another part of the machine and rubber stamp things and do what he's told. But you're right. It is an amazing swing. It's an amazing that it happened. This is one of my moments that, you miss people sometimes. And this was one of my moments I really missed Mike, because Mike hated John Cornyn. And after John Cornyn lost, I thought, how cool would it have been to call? Because I guarantee there would have been a phone conversation. One of us would have called each other almost immediately when it came out. Yeah. And there it was. I didn't get my phone call from Mike because I knew that either I would have called him or he'd have called me, and we would have had an hour-long discussion about why, whether you like Ken Paxton or not, it's better because he despised John Cornyn. Yeah. But at this point, it doesn't matter. Ken Paxton has won. Whether you like him or you don't like him, now it's your decision whether you're going to vote or not. I just always encourage people, and once again, it doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum, whether you're Democrat or Republican. When you're talking about a United States Senate seat, understand whoever goes there is going to be a small part of a big machine, and they're not going to stand out, especially at first. No. So if you believe more in the Republican platform, you probably need to vote Republican. If you believe more in the Democrat platform, you probabably need to vote Democrat, because at this point you're really not voting for the person. I don't believe, not in that machine. Locally, I think you vote for people. Statewide, you kind of vote for people. You get into national, and especially in the when they're freshmen, I don't think you vote for them.
Do we have 3 or 4 minutes?
We got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk specifically about the Senate and purposefully how important this race is to the state of Texas. There are 50 states. There are 100 senators.
Yep.
Each state gets 2. The capital of Vermont, the state capital of Vermont, is smaller than Wichita Falls. The state of Vermont is smaller than several counties in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And they have 2. The state of Vermont has 2.
Same power.
They have exactly.
in the Senate that
they
we
have
do.
2 voices, 2 votes in the Senate that equal Ted Cruz and hopefully Ken Paxton. Think about how impactful that is for legislation and actions that affect each of us. That I'm a numbers guy, and to me, that's where the House of Representatives comes in and puts that to a closer to being a level playing field for the country.
Right.
But in the Senate, and how powerful the Senate is, to think in my math minds that a voter representation that small has the same power that our entire state has, is, to me, as a math guy, is mind blowing.
Well, and the Constitution and our the forefathers who wrote it all, they had that in mind. They did it specifically so that it's not run.
But it's been
it's a
changed.
balance.
Because back then, no, I agree. I'm saying what you're saying, but no, listen to me. But where it's been changed is the Senate used to be represented for the state.
Right. It was
were
appointed by the
they
state.
were appointed by the state.
Not voted in.
That
right.
was the reason
the
behind it.
legislature.
They
right.
went in. They were supposed to represent their state.
Right.
And the interest of their state. That's why there was 2. That's why Vermont had the same power as Texas did, is because they wanted to have a body that says doesn't matter if you're Montana, because you think about Montana is huge, but there's not very many people live there. You know, in other words, when somebody leaves the state, they got to turn the light off, right?
Right.
So there's not very many people there, but they specifically, the forefathers or the founding fathers wanted to make sure that Montana got the same voice as Texas did in a certain area. Now they're not the ones that hold the purse strings,
Right.
and so I don't. What happened was when this went to a popular vote, I think it changed the dynamics.
Of course it did.
Because back when it was appointed by the state, the state legislator appointed people that would go, and your job was to look after our state of Texas, or look after Montana, or look after whatever. It's not be part of the political party that makes policy for everybody.
And that's why it's, to me, that's why this election is so important. I was not and have not been a Cornyn fan because of that exact reason. Think of he's been in Congress 24 years, and what did he legislate and enact for the state of Texas in his position as our senior, and I mean senior, state senator? Cruz came in and made an impact immediately, and has continued to stay that way. Cornyn hasn't. Paxton's not my guy. I voted for him, but he's going to be the same way, I feel. I mean, look at what he did as Attorney General. I mean, he led in a way I would never lead, that you guys would never lead. He made decisions that we wouldn't make.
Right.
But he's going to be a senator of impact, and he knows how to get things done.
Yeah.
And that's going to be good for the state of Texas.
Well, and to your point, but to his point about the whole thing at national level, it's absolutely important, but it's more team politics at that level. Whereas when you have how many people on your city council, there's just how many we have? 7? Okay, 1 out of 7, not 1 out of 100,
Yeah.
or 1 out of 435, and so it's definitely more impactful locally, but it's still absolutely important because it's a team playing situation there. So
yeah. Well, and it's not supposed to be. That's the whole point. It wasn't set up. The Senate was not set up to be a team politics thing.
Right.
It was set up to be where it didn't matter what your politics necessarily were. It was if you were from New York, you looked out for the state of New York. If you were from Texas, you looked out for the state of Texas. And when they went to a popular vote system, that got bastardized.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, I like that word. I won't say it, but I like that
it's
word.
true. It's honestly not really a nasty word. I mean,
Well, it's not. It's
actually a real thing. There is a thing called bastard.
Right.
A bastard child is a fatherless child.
Right.
I mean, there's words that we consider as nasty or dirty, but they're not dirty.
Well, they're accurate.
By the way, the word ass is in the Bible, so beat that.
And you can be an ass. Yeah, you can be an ass, or
Well, it's true. I mean,
no, I got you. Well, no, you're right. There's some words that have a connotation that have somehow gained a super negative connotation, but in fact, it would be anyway, just been.
Well,
but
the word gay.
Yeah.
Look how different the word gay was in
when I was going to school, they had gay clubs.
Yeah,
They did. They had a gay club.
they have gay clubs now, but they're different.
It was a music club.
That's what. That's. What I'm saying
Okay.
is in the 20s and 30s and 40s and even later, I guess, that was
Into
the
the
word gay.
50s.
The gay meant you were happy. It was happy. It was happy.
Yeah.
There's gay parade. It didn't mean that there was a bunch of people who were homosexuals.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with homosexual. But at some point, and I don't know where it changed. I wasn't informed. I didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
But at some point, I just know that word changed. So words changed.
Yeah.
All right. Next thing. This was another one of those things that I've been ruminating on a little while.
We're getting math here. As I see
and
numbers.
I'm a math guy. I'm glad you're on because you're a statistics guy. Okay. And I'm not as much of a math guy as you, but I do believe in statistics and I try to follow numbers. So I heard this was probably about 3 or 4 months ago. And it was kind of when the Democrats were talking about packing the Supreme Court, and this and that. And if they take power, they're going to do that. And then I heard several people, and it was one of those talking points that goes out. And I saw it on, I don't remember what I saw it on, but it showed The View and CNN and MSNBC and blah, blah, blah. And they were saying the same thing as not enough diversity in the Supreme Court. Not enough diversity in the Supreme Court. Not enough diversity in the Supreme Court. And I thought, that just looking at the court in my mind, the 9 justices, I thought, there seems like a lot of diversity there.
Yep.
So I broke down some things. I broke some things down. I broke down ethnic, age, sex, and religion. Okay. Of course, you guys are looking at it, so you already know. The number one most out of whack, I don't know how you want to say it, but most out of whack of diversity. And basically what I did is I took, here's what the general American population is, and here's what it is in the Supreme Court. You would think is actually religion. Catholics. Catholics dominate the Supreme Court. There are 6 Catholics. There's 1 Jew, 6 Catholics, and 2 Protestants. And one of them's not really a Protestant because they're Anglican. It's a
almost somewhere between, right?
Gorsuch
Somewhere
is
between,
Anglican, which is
somewhere
1 foot,
between from Catholic to almost
it's 1 foot into Catholicism. But I went ahead and put Protestant just to make it so. But Catholics,
you had to make a call.
That's right. I had to make a judgment call, and nobody else was there. I had a 30-minute discussion with myself about it, debated. It almost got violent. No, but so Catholics, when you take the American public, so in other words, Catholics are 20% of the American population.
Okay.
But they're 66% of the court. So that's overrepresentation. That's the word I was trying to look for.
Okay.
The most overrepresented group is Catholics.
Okay.
Okay. The second most overrepresented group in the country is age. Now, this one was a little harder to find because you can't. So basically, when they break down age deals, there's like teenagers and blah blah blah, and then you give your 46 to 64-year-olds, which are mature adults, and then you have your seniors, anybody over 65. I couldn't find a statistic that said what is the percentage of those 2 age ranges, because in other words, I kind of guess at it 60-40, because anytime you put them in there, the younger generation is going to skew. I think over 65 is only 17% of the population, but they're not 17% of the population in this group. Because let's face it, you're not going to be a Supreme Court justice if you're 13.
Nope.
You're probably not going to be a Supreme Court justice even in your 40s, but you're dang sure not going to be a Supreme Court justice in your 30s. You just haven't had enough experience.
Right.
So
you're taking the age range of the court and extrapolating that as 100% and comparing it to that same age group in the population.
Which is the right way to do it.
That's right. Thank you.
Apples to apples.
That's the statistical correct way to get this number.
That's what I tried to do. So
did.
It's
good job.
Thank you, sir. From a math guy. So it's about 15% of overrepresentation, I would say. Okay.
Right.
The next overrepresentation, more overrepresentation is black. There's 2 people on the Supreme Court that are black. Now, a lot of leftists don't want to think that one of them is black, but he is. And he's been there a long time. Clarence Thomas.
Oh yeah, they don't want to.
Been on there a long time. He's black, but he's not us or whatever. That's so stupid. I hate that. Yeah. And it's by the way, it's racist. It's racist. This is just say it. If you say that shit, you're a racist, or you have racist thoughts. I'm not going to say you're racist all the time, but the black population in America is 12.1%. The black population on the Supreme Court is 22.2%.
Wow.
So if you wanted to go with overrepresentation, which I think this is great. I mean, now I don't like Jackson. I don't like her politics, and I think she's kind of got a 10-cent head. But she's still part of the court, and I still respect her as a justice. Blacks are overrepresented, if you want to say that, use those terms, on the court. Now, when you go to underrepresentation, the most underrepresentation by these numbers is age. 46 to 64, 54, or 45 to 64. In America, it's about 60%. On the court, it's 44.4%, which is a negative 20. That one, that's not that big a deal, but that is what it is. The second most underrepresented group is Protestants.
Which was a surprise to me.
I was surprised too. I didn't realize there was everybody most people in the Supreme Court are Catholics.
That's one that
I was very surprised. I don't really think it means a huge amount, but it's just my personal opinion. I don't think it really matters that much. But they're underrepresented by 18%. The Protestant population of America is 40%, and on the court is 22%. So it's minus 18. The third most underrepresented group is Latinos.
Yeah.
Latinos are 18.7% of the American population. They're 1.11% of the court.
No, I think it's 11. That should be 11.
11. I'm sorry. Yeah, 11.1% of the court.
Fact checked in you, man.
Yeah, you're right. There's only one Latina on the court, so they're underrepresented. You know, they make 18% of the almost 19% of the population.
Right. And
there's one person on the court that's represented.
Right.
So my whole point of this is you can see the diversity on this deal.
Yeah.
Hey, it's full of white people. Well, there's 57.8% of the population is white, and 66.6% of the court is white. That's not a massive overrepresentation.
No.
Sex. Female. 51% of the population is female.
Right.
45% of the population is female on the court. So basically, they're underrepresented by 6 points, and the males are overrepresented by 6%. That's not a lot.
No.
We're not talking about this. It's almost even. I mean, there's five males and 4 females.
Well, you only have 9 slots. So,
exactly.
and that's the one thing to point out, though, is that when you get into statistics, these numbers, because they're so small, that's not a true sampling. You need to have an accurate sample. And that, I don't think it should be, by the way. Your goal shouldn't be to make it look like the population.
You want the best people.
You want the best people.
I'm gonna go back on the other side of that argument, because both sides, left and right, use those statistics for their own personal gain.
Absolutely.
And the only way for these statistics to be used properly is the way he's gathered the statistics, by using the makeup like he did on the age.
Yeah.
He used that part of the American population. So these numbers, even though in in a perfect world, where you want to get a good sampling
Right.
for a particular survey report, you do thousands
Right.
of.
But you can't get
But
thousands.
You can't do it. You got 9 people.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to
It
go
just-
with whatever your
That's exactly
I mean,
Right.
if
So
you were
if
if you were surveying the people of Wichita County,
So
you can't get a 300,000. There's not 300,000.
let's take the female the gender makeup.
Yeah.
So in a 9-person court, right now the females are underrepresented by 5% or 6%. If we go 5-4, then they're overrepresented.
Yeah.
So where do you want to be in
Right.
that argument?
Yeah, you're right.
It's
statistically very close.
stupid to even have the argument.
I know it, but this whole thing is brought up because that argument's
Right,
out
exactly.
there in the public sphere and it's getting play.
My
Right.
whole point is, I believe we have a very diverse Supreme Court,
And we do.
in just about
Yeah,
every metric. You
Right.
know, and then you go conservative. Who knows what these people's politics are? I'm sorry. I don't want just because who nominated them
Yeah.
and got them in, it doesn't mean that they're going to go along with that. I mean, there's been proof
Oh,
positive.
yeah.
How many times have Bush or Trump or even some of the Democrats seem to be better at picking them as far as the go along with the kind of their politics.
Yeah.
But how many times have your Bush or your Trump have they appointed Supreme Court justices and they go the complete opposite of what you
Look
think
at
it should be?
Stephen Breyer. Look
Yeah.
where his votes have been in his history as a Supreme Court justice. Look where his votes have been on both sides consistent. I mean, you can't expect he's going to be right because he never has been.
Well, I was watching a clip of Barrett. She was talking about how she's actually anti-death penalty, and that they're when it comes to making the decisions that she does, and when it comes up to a death penalty related thing, she says, "But I can't. I got to go with the law and what the law allows, or whatever. I'm not going to bring my." So yes, she's even though she's Catholic, some Catholics believe that the death penalty is okay. It's justified natural law kind of stuff. I went to a Catholic college, by the way, and had to have a philosophy class with it. So it was interesting.
He was an altar boy.
But anyway, no, it was not an altar boy. But anyway, I'm talking about Catholic college.
And there's about 15 jokes I got in my mind there.
Yeah.
And they're
But
inappropriate,
anyway,
and I'm not going to say
so-
them here.
But the point is that that they can actually thinking through it, and they still have an underlying philosophy, certainly. But she felt that, and she's obviously appointed by, who was it? Do you remember who appointed her?
Trump.
Was it Barrett?
Barrett was Trump's
Trump?
first one, wasn't it?
I think
I
so.
think she was in Trump's
Well,
first.
anyway, so and then of course, what do we have with Obamacare? It was Kennedy, wasn't it, or that kind of
Yeah, Justice Kennedy.
rewrote some. I think we all agree here that Obamacare. I think everybody agrees Obamacare is a
by
disaster.
the way, when you want to talk about race, and yes, I agree, there are six of the 9 Supreme Court justices are white, but Amy Coney Barrett is as white as Tom Petty, and she has 2 kids that are Haitian.
Right, and so that's
So I mean, what I'm saying is, it's yes, she's white, but to say she's anti-black would be stupid.
well-
two of her children she chose to adopt. Yeah,
Right.
she didn't have these children. She chose to adopt these children.
and also just kind of a think of it interestingly as far as diversity. You've got Clarence Thomas is married to a white woman.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of interesting, and not nothing wrong with it, of course, but it's just interesting that that's happened. Now, a lot of educated black women are having a hard time finding educated people who are equivalent in their education in black men, and a lot of them are marrying white men because the education thing that is a thing.
Is it really?
It is a thing.
I
Yes,
hadn't heard that.
right?
But-
Because so many black men have been what our government has facilitated through all these welfare programs all the years that took the man out of the picture and created this population of a lot of men.
That is a whole other show.
Right. No, I know, but I'm
There's
just
2
saying
shows.
in that, but that
Yeah.
is that's a statistical thing, a
didn't
real
realize that.
thing.
It's interesting.
And it's just, but absolutely though, we have all seen a lot of, we know all race people that are doing well for themselves, it doesn't really matter. And that's, I think, what we all really want. And every time you bring up race, instead of critiquing it and doing when there's real racism, to do something about it, we make up racism.
Oh, this is the golden
and
age of being a racist.
Yeah, and it's
think about it. If you're really a racist, well, you get to hide in plain sight.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're real quickly before we get off this topic, you're right. And I said this for years when I was on the school board. People would say race. Like, no, it's have and have nots. When we're talking about outcomes in public education, it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter. It matters to your have and have nots. And oh, by the way, why do we always forget about Asians and Indians? And when I say Indians, I don't mean Native Americans. I mean people from India. And we have a population.
Asian, I think so. They have if you're in Europe, they have a different term for.
Well, I'm just saying,
they're Asians.
The Asians and the Indians are doing really well. And by the way, you know what group in America of groups, if you want to group them together, is doing number one statistically? Nigerians.
Really?
Yes, Nigerians as a statistical group. If you just take the Nigerians, they have higher salaries. They go farther in their fields and stuff like that. They work their asses off. Yeah. And as a group of people, I mean, first off, I don't know what they're drinking in Nigeria as far as what's in the water there, but have you ever known a dumb Nigerian? I haven't.
I don't know a Nigerian.
Every one of them I've ever met has been very, very intelligent.
The phone call you got, or the email you got a while back into the Nigerian scams. Yeah.
No, seriously, they're always very physically fit and everything like that. I mean, it's just they're killing it. But Indians are too. And if you look at it, when you talk about minorities, the Indian population in America and the Asian population in America are really much more of a minority than even the black population of America. But nobody calls them minorities because they're doing well.
Right. Well, yeah.
So anyhow,
oh, well.
I just wanted to – there's something I've been ruminating on, and I appreciate you guys letting me bring this and talk about it because I think it's important to go back to don't listen to all the bullshit. And if something sounds like bullshit, which it did when I heard, we don't have a diverse Supreme Court, and I'm looking and I'm going, well, I see a lot of women there. I see different colored people there. I didn't know what their religion was. I had to look that up. I know that there's some diversity in age. Yeah. They're not all 85 years old, and they're not 32 either.
Sure, yeah.
And so I thought, I got to dig into it. So I did, and that's what I found. I believe we have a diverse Supreme Court. So if you don't believe that, then F off. I cleaned it up because Steve's here.
That's spelled EFF.
That's right. I cleaned it up because Steve's here.
There we go. All right.
We have a great story here that Steve's going to bring. It's a lot more uplifting than what I brought.
Yeah. So what do you got here?
Okay. I had the real pleasure of meeting Jamie Gates a couple of weeks ago. I'm one of the Gold Coast ambassadors for the Chamber of Commerce, and we go out for ribbon cuttings for new businesses. And she's been in business for quite a while, but she opened up a new business in the self-storage that's called, I think it's Extra Feet. I'm not exactly sure, but it's that storage unit that's at the very south end of Kickapoo.
Oh, yeah.
It's a real nice looking building.
Yeah,
it's really nice
yeah.
looking.
Yeah, and she's got her office there. But in talking with her and trying to learn a little bit more about her, she shared this really neat deal. Our mayor, Tim Short, works in a volunteer capacity for Meals on Wheels, and he does that once a week. Mm-hmm. And one of the recipients of those Meals on Wheels has got an issue with her roof. And
looks like it.
Tim mentioned it, and so Jamie Gates at Gates Roofing got with some other roofers here in town. And the second picture's got a picture of all of the roofs. If you'd pull that one up, okay. I want to give a shout out to her first because she's the one that shared this with me. But Doug Marchand from Marchand Roofing, he did my roof after the hailstorm a year and a half ago.
According to Lindy Parr, he might have done George Washington's roof as well.
He maybe have. But Morant Roofing, and they've been here for decades.
Yeah.
940 Roofing, relatively new in town, and then True Peak, relatively new in town as well. But these other four roofers said, yeah, we'll chip in. And the thing that Jamie shared with me is that after every roofing job, they've got extra material that they can't necessarily use to do another complete roof.
Because it has to match and everything else. Yeah.
But they're still good shingles. There's, And this lady needed a roof.
She didn't care if it's pink, gold, and purple. It's whatever it is.
So Jamie got in touch with these other roofers, and they said, "Yeah, we'll be happy to do this."
That's awesome.
So
love this.
Yeah, Jamie wants to do this once a month.
Oh, it's even better.
To someone in our community,
Right.
and she's gotten buy-in from these other roofers.
Awesome.
So
what a solid person.
Yeah.
I've never met this lady, but she's a solid person.
So when are they?
they're actually going to do the roof next week. I'm going to be out and I'll get.
I thought it was already done.
No.
I'm joking. Yeah.
Anyway, they're going to do the roof, and I'm going to go out and do a couple of live videos and get some pictures.
Absolutely.
But I just wanted to share this.
It's awesome.
With
thank you for bringing
with the community, because there just seems to not be enough airtime for good stories.
Right.
And I wanted to share this with your viewers and listeners and readers and everything else, because it's such a great local story, and it just came about.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what Jamie and our local roofers do going forward. But this is one I just wanted to share. Thank you for letting me bring that.
What brought this about? And like you said, it came about because somebody cared.
Exactly.
Because Tim Short cares enough to do Meals on Wheels, and Tim Short saw that there was a need, and he cared enough to say something to somebody. Yeah. And Jamie cared enough about somebody she doesn't know. She's not going to make a nickel off this lady.
No.
Or anybody.
No.
That she cares enough about that. And then she called all these other guys, and they cared enough to say, hey, this is a good idea. These people, every one of these roofers right here, they're not doing this to get a bunch of extra roofing jobs. They are not going to get a ton of roofing jobs out of this. By the way, if you did, you wouldn't want everybody's competition. You'd want, like, okay, I'll go with you, but I don't want Morant or whatever.
Right,
no,
you're going to want exclusive.
This for good.
Yeah.
They're doing this to be good. They're doing this for good. They're doing it because somebody cared, and that's how good things happen. And it doesn't happen anywhere in the world like it does in America.
Right. And that's the thing. If you feel confident and you're doing well in your business, and you and the government gets out of the way, and people promote the good businesses, then those people feel confident in their business, then they will share that, because clearly unfortunately there's always going to seem to be, I mean, in our years, there's never been a good time for every single person on the planet or in your town or whatever. Yeah. And that does absolutely just shows. But if you have but look at all the poverty, partly in other countries where there's a lot of control, that they don't, you got a lot of money at the top, but that doesn't filter down very well. Right. Whereas middle class folks that are not super rich, or even some of the super rich, are going to feel a lot better about helping others, and that's in your heart, not just in. Well,
it's part of our culture, and it doesn't happen in other countries like it does in America. I've traveled to other countries. I'm telling you, and I'm not talking about Botswana. I've never been there. I'm talking about what we would consider countries that are somewhat equivalent to us. I don't think any of them are, but I've been France, Germany, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland. I could just name all those European countries that we all think of. Oh, they're countries just like us. No, they're not. There's a lot of similarities. They do not have the freedoms that we have, and they do not tend to be as generous as people are. Trust me, I know. I have family that are English. Yeah. This would blow somebody's mind that somebody in England would do this. They wouldn't do it. Yeah. And it's not because they're bad people. It's just because that's not their culture. That's not how they were raised.
Yep.
So I love this idea. Thank you for bringing it to us, and what a stand-up person that Jamie is, along with all these other people.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
The thing about Marshannon has always been kind of a big joke. Of course, Lindy Parr, Marshannon has been a advertiser on KLUR Cumulus for many years. Lindy Parr is involved, and for about 15 years, Lindy Parr recently had they ran the same ad for about 15 years. Lindy Parr recently had some damage on one of his properties, and he called Doug Marchand. It's like, dang, Lindy, is that every week you have a problem with it? But no, it's
And by the way, here's a quick search. U.S. News and World Report had an article in I don't know if I can get a date here, but anyway, I guess it's somewhat recent. But anyway, it's ranking countries by generosity. Okay. And guess what? United States is number one. Yeah. Followed by Myanmar,
which
New
was
Zealand.
Myanmar was Oh shit! When we grew up, it was a different name. Oh, now it's driving me nuts.
Right. Well,
Seriously, you've heard. You might not have heard Myanmar, but you've heard of this country. I'm telling you.
yeah. Well, it's anyway. New Zealand, Australia, Ireland, Canada, United.
Burma. It was Burma. I knew I could not. Yeah, it was Burma.
Yeah. Canada, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Sri Lanka, and Indonesia. And so that just know and Myanmar.
Burma.
Yeah. Okay.
Myanmar.
But
Myanmar.
Myanmar. Okay. They're number 2, but they're like ranked as number 61 as far as a best country rank. So interesting how they may be just a good culture, a culture that just really likes to give. But United States is number 1. So
yeah, well, you look at it. Whoever's ranked number 1 as a country is not even the top 10 as generosity.
Right.
Square that away. Canada shows number 3 as best ranked countries,
but they're number 6.
But they're number 6 is generosity.
Right.
And the UK
is kind of
5. This is bullshit. I call BS on the UK. I call the BS on the UK being number 3 country above America, because I promise you, I know for a fact how many people from the UK.
Well,
want to live in
UK is
America.
number 5 versus 8. Yeah, by 3. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
they say UK is a better place to live on best countries.
I call BS on that because.
Okay. Well,
I've been to some of those places, and they're not. Been to Canada, been to UK, all over.
No,
they're not
I got
better
you. No, anyway,
All
just
right.
an interesting note there.
We
So
need to wrap it up.
All right, wrapping it up here. So, hey guys, just
Thanks to Jamie Gates one more time.
Absolutely. Scroll down so we can see. Next guest.
Yes, our next guest is Hershey Middle School Principal Mackenzie
Vanderveer.
Is it spelled?
I've misspelled it.
Vanderveer?
It's
Oh,
it's a D.
Vanderveer.
There's a
Okay.
D in there.
Okay, Vanderveer. Okay,
So it's going to be interesting. And this is Donnie Lee has been on the superintendent of schools, and Hershey Middle School is a
future
it's a future third school or future schools or whatever it is. Anyhow,
Yeah.
it's a public school, but it's run by a private company.
Right.
And this is going to be an insight to actually how they do that. And they have been successful. And he's going to talk about their success.
All right.
I know there was of course, I was involved in the school district. I know a ton of friends. I have a lot of friends in the school district, and there were a lot of naysayers. And my whole thing was like, look, why not try it? Yeah. Because Hershey was Kirby, and Kirby was failing year after year. I mean,
It's like 7 years in a row.
yeah, Kirby almost put the WFISD into state control. Yeah. That's honestly
Right.
And they moved it to Hershey, but it was still the same school and all that, just changed buildings. It was failing so bad it almost put the WFISD completely in state control. And what I mean is that your elected school board, if you're a WFISD taxpayer, your elected school board would be gone. The people you wanted to run it would be completely gone, and a board of managers would be appointed.
Yeah,
Not necessarily local.
Yeah.
They
Until
didn't have
such
to be
time
local
they
or anything.
decided not to. anymore.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So that's how bad it was. So at some point, you got to try something different, and it looks like this has been success. And we'll have Mackenzie on to talk about it. He's a really nice guy, and we'll have him on next week.
All right.
Nice.
Well then, I guess kind of get my thing. But anyway, So anyway, join us next week, 7:30 to meet Mackenzie. And but anyway, so we're gonna wrap it up here. Mike always said though, when we wrap it up, is we will see you down the road.